Welcome, everyone. It is now 2 p.m. Malta time, and we're online. Just going to wait a couple of minutes to see who will be joining us today. Today is day number 16 of the 21 days. And we have our favorite fan, and it's Laurie. Laurie is here. Hi, Laurie. How are you? I know you'll let me know if the sound is good. Oh, Ingrid came first. Good day, Ingrid. So lovely to have you all here. You are the catalysts of these 21 days. You've been, hello Larry, you did get a haircut. Yes, Marie came. It was an order for a haircut. Everyone that's been following every single day just shows the determination and the desire to want to see this clearly. As with me, my desire to see this clearly, to see it clearly, it just wouldn't ever let me go. It was a constant, I want to see this clearly, I want to see this clearly, I want to see this clearly. In fact, at any retreat I went, my hand was always up. Anytime there was the time for Q&A, it was, I know I will birth a question. And it's interesting enough that I never really had the question really clear in my mind. So every time I went up, I just felt into the feeling of clarity. I want to see this easily. I want to see this simple. Please, whatever it is that and the person that I was asking the question to assisted me in clarifying what point is it that I'm not seeing clearly. And this is where I noticed that the metaphor that I used yesterday, the box is this metaphor that is your life experience right now. And your life experience can sort of be summarized to the way you're feeling right now, right? So the stories and the elements and the circumstances, the events, the people, your family, your friends, and all of these things seem to just create that one picture, right? So in order to simplify and to see clearly, you need to sort of get to the root of what exactly am I seeing? What exactly am I believing? What exactly do I believe to be? And remember, I think I just want to highlight it. A belief is who you believe to be. The belief and the character are one and the same. This is why changing a belief and hearing all these quotes and reading these books, you've got to change a belief, you've got to change a belief. Well, the belief comes with the character. In order to change the belief, the character needs to change. In the sense, well, then that, this brings forth the question, well, then if the character needs to change, well, then who am I? And this is why it was fundamental that the first week we explored this hypothesis. We explored this. If this is the character, part of the experience, then who am I? And this is why meditation is your, I don't want to say playground, but that's where I go. That's where that's why it's imperative to dedicate time in your day to be able to go to this frequency, to this vibration of clarity. This is where your aha moments will be presented to you. This is where you get to feel feelings of your desire. So let me just put this in clear, straightforward for you today. My hand was also always up. Yes, I can imagine. With Byron Katie, Lisa Kahns, and Jeff Foster. I'm very well aware of all three of them. I've never had the pleasure of meeting any of them personally, but that is fantastic. Right, so let's begin. Let's summarize. So, your life experience, what is currently happening right here, right now. You sit and you're watching these videos because there is something you're perceiving is lacking. You're perceiving something's missing. You're aware of the box, your life experience, okay, what is happening. And now you're aware that there's something missing in the box, okay? You've become aware that the box is empty. You are quite happy being able to focus on something, the box, because before there was nothing to focus on. So now the box, your life, what you think is your life, is here, something to focus on. But now, while exploring, you've discovered that there is something missing. And this is where I'd like to just bring forth and appreciate the variety of all these indicators. Indicators, what are they? Emotions. What are they? Feelings. What are they? Sensations. Feeling, happening within you. Now, the life, your experiences have appeared for something for you to focus on. There's this illusion that this is. You've come into this world and it was presented to you. The box just simply appeared. Right? This is my life circumstances. This is what I'm living now. So as you're living these experiences, you've come to realize that there's something missing. You've become aware that this just bumps up the borders of this character. So the character you believe to be right now comes with what? The package. The character and the belief are one and the same. I believe I am unworthy. The character plays out. I'm unworthy. I believe I'm unworthy. I'm not important. I'm not good enough. Oh, Marie's back and her phone is ringing. Excuse me. So yes, Marie's here and it was delightful. I'll tell you all about it later. So the belief and the character are one and the same. Right. So changing a belief requires what? The changing of the character. But if you believe to be this character, change is going to feel like a struggle. Change is going to feel like a strain. Change is going to feel stressful because you believe now you need to change this character. Who needs to change the character? The character needs to change. Therefore, with that in mind, with that belief, with that pull that you need to change the character, can you feel that there's always going to be a feeling of dissatisfaction no matter what this character does? It will always feel dissatisfied with itself because the character is only designed to play out the belief that it comes with. I'm not important enough. This is the character that needs to play out not important enough. Why? This is the box that you currently have and you're focusing on. You cannot expect the character to change. It will always feel disappointed with itself because that is the underlying experience it is designed to have. When it comes with I'm not important enough, I'm not rich enough, I'm not good enough, I'm insignificant. It is now playing the character out of insignificance, not good enough. Right? That belief allows this character to have this experience. Who is aware of this experience? And this is why we have different frequencies, and I thank you all very much for listing them. There's the alpha, the beta, delta, theta. Theta is when you're not engaged as the character, that you've taken your place, your power, your seat of awareness, being aware of the character. And it is you're vibrating at a completely different frequency. When you believe to be the character, you're playing out, you are immersed in this beautiful experience. And you'd say, well, there's really nothing beautiful about, being me right now. I believe I'm insignificant. I believe I'm unworthy. I believe I'm not rich. I believe I'm not this. I believe I'm not that. Well, trust me, it is a very, very significant experience that you're having. It is inspiring. It is birthing desires after desires after desires after desires, and I'll get there. By the end of these 21 days, the title, The Belief in Lack Creates Suffering, will go something like this. Day number 1, belief in lack creates suffering. And there's this feeling of despair because there's this meaning. I am utterly feeling it. By the end of it, it will be the belief in lack creates suffering. The excitement to become aware that you were never the one. You were not the belief. You were not the character. The awareness of it. Did I have to change the phrase, the belief in lack creates suffering, for you to have a completely different feeling? Aren't you feeling a bit more at peace with the phrase, the belief in lack creates suffering? So, your experiences are being experienced. And whether you like it or not, what is being birthed? What is it that you're all desiring like right now? What is the very thing that once you've identified what we asked you yesterday to identify, creating tip number 1, identify the belief character, the belief character, the belief character, let's call him like that. Who you currently say, I am, this is it, the belief character. The character comes with a belief, I'm not good enough. Laurie, what did you say? I'm not rich enough. This is character, I'm not rich enough. Let me introduce you. It comes with a label. Name's Laurie. You see what I mean? So identify your belief character. Have a belief character. So the belief character now is playing out this experience. And through these experiences, what comes forth? What's coming forth through you? You're birthing a desire after another. You bump into someone that just mistreats you, and this desire just comes up. I want to be treated with respect. I want to be treated with love. That's a desire. You notice that you want to go on a vacation and you just don't have enough money. The desire is born. I want to be able to do whatever I want to do whenever I want to do it. That's the desire. It comes up. I'm labeling now what? The experience. So a desire is born out of it. But because you still believe to be the character, you're still focused on the empty box, whereas the desire has just brought in this imagery of a box with the goodies inside, the box with the desire. So what is expansion? What is creating? The painter, in order to create a painting, requires a blank, what is that word that he paints on? It'll come. So he requires that. Then he requires the elements, the colors, the textures, the different kind of paint. So there's the emptiness, the spaciousness, and then the little goodies, the elements. And one of your elements is the desire. Did you have to go and buy it? No. Did someone have to inspire you? Most probably, because we're all working as one for you to create desires. That chap that mistreated you, he was part of the deal. So that cruise you wanted to take that was way, 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 way too much that you don't have, it was part of the deal. It's the desires are being inspired by your experience. All right. And everyone is just free to go into the experience as far into it as they, depending on what they want to desire. So you can slightly get the feeling of lack, or you can really go all the way in and really feel the intensity of lack. Those are all different degrees, and depending on your experience as this character, the desire will be this big, the desire can be that intense, so that desire can be really impressively, it is asking you to feel a completely different feeling. So now you've come to the conclusion that you've focused on the box, and then you've realized the box is empty, and now the desire is born of the goodies that you want in the box. Which means, right here, right now, I have elements. I have forms and sensations that I now need to become accustomed to, because you cannot change the character. You cannot change the belief from the point of view of the character. It will always have the sense of dissatisfaction because it's designed to be exactly what the experience plays out to be with that belief. So where do you go to familiarize yourself with the desire? Now, the desire is an invitation. I love saying it like that. Your desire is the invitation to become the character of that belief. I'm not important enough. I am important enough. I really, really want to feel important. Right. So where do you go to become familiar with a feeling? Because the character I'm not important enough is only designed to feel the feeling of not important enough. That is the indication it's getting because of the belief that's in place. And hence, this character has been imagined into being. So where do we go? We go into imagination. We go into that place where you now know that you're not the character. You go into meditation to that frequency theta that they've measured, where you don't feel compelled to be the person. Because if you go into meditation but you're still thinking yourself into being as the character, but now trying to imagine, it's going to feel like a strain. It's going to feel like a struggle. It's going to feel stressful. Imagination from this higher frequency as not identified as the character feels very, very entertaining. It feels delightful. It feels very free. You are not in this restricted character with all its traits. And that's why when Joe Dispenza talks about planning tomorrow today, the power of meditation and imagination, that is your ability. There is an ability, but what do you need to do in that moment? So let's say you've now planned out from 8 to 9, I'm going to sit in my favorite chair, and that's where I'm going to go, where I'm just going to go to that place. I'm going to theta. And that's where I'm going to now familiarize myself with the invitation that was delivered to me today. What invitation? The desire. I birthed a desire today, and I hope this is our new language. Hello, darling, how are you? I birthed a new desire today. You did? What did it feel like? I don't know. I'm going to familiarize myself with it today at about 8 o'clock. Don't call me. I'll let you know tomorrow. It'll be introduced. It'll catch on. So, this is what I do every day. So, number 2, what desire is born? Creating tip number 2. What desire did you just birth today? What desires have you been birthing and you were not aware of? Because the desire is an invitation. Dear Laurie, you have been living out experiences and you've come to the conclusion that you want to be rich. Meet you at 8 o'clock tonight. So, in order to have a different experience, in order to be with this desire, what do you need to create now? You're the painter. What do you need to create? You need to create the belief. I need to create the belief. I am always taken care of. Money flows to me in endless ways. I'm always abundant. I never have to worry about it because the character that's been played out now, I'm always worried about my self-worth. No one's ever confirmed to me my self-worth. I'd like to see my self-worth being seen over and over again. So there's a desire. Now you, the painter, must now create the belief. I am worthy. So how do we create a belief? When you create a belief, you're literally creating the character that comes with it. How do you create the character? So you know what the character is currently looking like. So when you're in imagination, when you're in the state of being of the painter, as awareness, looking, noticing, and you'll need about 10 or 15 minutes just to release who you think you are, the character. You distance yourself And you don't pull for anything, you just be. So I am is your neutral platform. I am. I am. Because as the character, there's something after I am. I am unworthy. I am not rich enough. I am insignificant. I am, you see? So the character comes with a definition after I am. So in meditation, basically what we're asking you is just leave the definition alone and just go back to I am. Now in imagination, in your creative tip number 1, you've identified the label of the new, of the desire, of the definition, of the belief. And in imagination, you put the I am. Remember, you're all imagining this all into being, darling. There's no one really there. You're creating it. So you take the I am and you put the new definition in it. I am worthy. I am love. And you feel it. You'll probably be able to feel it for about 2 or 3 seconds. Because remember, this is the familiarization part. You're familiarizing yourself with something, with a new frequency. And now, as you feel into it, don't rush into it. You'll catch on. It'll just become your second nature because this is how it is. It really feels very, very natural to me now. So you're sort of feeling into it. And you'll notice that every single day that you allow yourself to simply be as I am, as yourself, as who you really are, not as character, I am unworthy. No, I am. You've taken a sort of step back from the character. The character, as far as I'm concerned, the character plays itself out from about, it starts in action at around 9:30 every morning, 9, 10 o'clock. Because I wake up and I meditate. I familiarize myself with the feeling that comes really, really natural. And then the character is allowed to play itself out around 10-ish. I start focusing on boxes, right? And then I notice what desire comes out. And the character sort of plays itself out until about 7, 8 o'clock in the evening. So that's my day's work, noticing the character. That's what work is all about. That's my job. I keep an eye on the character because then I've noticed the desires that now I can become aware of, that before, through this character, I was unaware of it. Right? And then at around 8, 9 o'clock, then I meditate again. And then off we go to bed. Do I live out the character the whole entire day? No. Do I live out Rafaela Rusniaga from Kusada Consulting? That's this cute little thing and reminds me of Christmas. I can't remember who wrote that to me. I think his name was George. He wrote to me and he says, "You remind me of Christmas." Great. Could you write it down? I want to read it. Have it in my hands. Sorry, darling. Ingrid, what do you mean? You want to have it in your hands? So, where was I? Desire. A desire is always born. Notice them down. So what do you do with this? The desire is only for you to rendezvous with it, to give it attention, to give it focused attention from the I am. And not the I am not worthy, and not from the I am, because the I am not worthy, the I am not important, the I am not rich enough, the I am in lack cannot change anything. It is designed to do what it's doing. It is designed to define and imagine this experience and have this feedback that was designed to do. That's the first emphasis that I'd really come across, that the character that you currently believe to be, with the definition and the belief, this belief, I am not good enough, made peace with it. That is the movie you're going to play out. You want a different movie, you want a different experience. This movie has inspired you to a desire. You got the invitation, you received the invitation. What is the invitation? It's the desire. And the desire now needs to become familiarized. And the first point in order to create an experience, what is it, darlings? You need to know where you're going, the address, the location. Which vibrational platform are we going to land on? If the feeling is not felt, then the descriptions won't be there. The imagery won't be there. So you need to get ready. That is your foundation. That is your address. That's where you're going. That's where you're going to become aware of a box with something in it. And that's what we'll talk about tomorrow. You're now going to be, you focus on the box, you've come to the realization that there's nothing in it, it's empty, hence feeling lack. Now you've got goodies in it, and it'll go, and that's where you'll be going. And then you'll have a box with goodies in it, but then you'll want to put more goodies in it. You see? So, where do you go to become familiar with this frequency? And about 10, 12 minutes a day. You don't really need to go all haywire with it. Just familiarize yourself with, I am worthy. What does that mean? The character can't come with you to this party. It just needs to stay where it is, out of your awareness for now. And just settle with, I am worthy. And you'll notice that no imagination will spring forth naturally, because we're familiarizing ourselves first with the location. What do you do when you get to a new place? You've never been there before. Let's say you've moved into a new house. The first thing, you generally have a feel for it. You look on how many rooms it has. Now you've been in here for about 20 minutes, and now you're starting to look. How many windows does it have? Oh, does it have this? Does it have? You're getting more and more and more and more specific. Then you get to a point that you actually need to look at how many electrical outlets it has, because you have so many things you want to charge. Where am I going to put the TV? Oh, the electrical outlet's over there, but I want the TV over there. How are we going to do that? You see, you become more and more and more specific. When you land into a new place, the first thing, you get a feel of it, and then you get more and more and more specific. So now, your whole experience has helped you identify what? A desire. And the main general one, first of all, you need to identify where you were, what platform you were on. I'm not good enough, some form of lack. And now you know where you want to be. I want to feel worthy. I want to feel abundant. I want to feel important. Okay, so now that was number one. Number two, open the invitation. What is the desire? And start to see, familiarize yourself with the feeling. The more you begin to familiarize with yourself with the feeling, the more you just focus on the feeling, an image will pop up. Why? Because that's what the mind does. The mind is now saying, hey, I've got imagery of that location. Nice. Then you open your eyes and you say, oh, but I'm still here. It's fine. It's fine. When you're ready, you will literally open your eyes and that you will walk into that experience. Will it seem so black and white? No, it will be seamless. It is one picture at a time, going very, very fast with momentum. That's why reality looks so inviting. You'll just notice that you're walking differently. I did. For many, many, many years, I used to walk like this, like my head used to be bowed down, and I never really realized it until someone pointed it out to me. Walk with your back straight. I'm like, oh my God, that feels so uncomfortable. And now I catch myself that I'm just walking with my head up high. And I'm like, because you feel differently. I used to feel insignificant, like I needed to hide. That's why when you see people walking, it's like, how are they feeling? What do they believe about themselves? When you see someone walking with their head up high, It's just natural. Now this is your experience. You'll notice certain things, or other people will, notice them for you. You're looking fabulous. What did you do? Something with your hair. It's the feeling that has now changed because you practiced it. All right. So don't get all hung up that you've got to do this, because who's saying I've got to do this? The character. You see? That's why noticing, practicing, becoming aware of awareness is very beneficial for you, because you're going to fall into the trap. Oh, the character, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to imagine. No, the character doesn't come to that party. I'm going to imagine. Who are you bringing to the party? Because if you're bringing the belief character to the imagining party, strain and struggle. No. I am unworthy remains out of your awareness. It cannot come to imagination party, where you just linger and become familiar. Do you get what I mean? So when I say people argue for their own limitations, is when they become aware of this information somehow, somewhere, and then start to label. Now they've just created a character. This is not working for me. I am now the character that believes this is not working for me. This doesn't work. Affirmations don't work for me. Imagination doesn't work for me. This is not working for me. So you've become familiar with the feeling that this doesn't work. This is hard. I believe this is hard. I am that which believes this is hard. And now you've got the feeling, you've got the description. So now you can actually create characters that sort of make it difficult for you to even want to allow yourself to go into imagination. It is simply a character. When you become familiar and just own it, own the feeling for as long as you can, 10 minutes here, 5 minutes there, 2 minutes here, just become familiar, own it. And the best places to practice my new feelings is when I get on a plane and I'm sitting next to a complete stranger, doesn't know who I am. And they start with questions. And now I'm just in imagination. Forget who I was. Let's play this character out. When you're going to practice, do you always need to be the character? This is why playfulness, joy, that's why these creative geniuses, when they're creating music, when they're creating art and music or design, they forget who the character is. They're constantly playing with elements in their imagination. And you are all secretly little geniuses. You are all geniuses. You are already a genius. Playing out, you're such a genius that you're playing out someone that isn't worthy. I mean, it takes a genius to do that. Who has the courage to play this out? Not many. You guys, us, we did that. We played it out. We played it so dark. And we brought ourselves to our knees, to depression. That's what we've played out. And every single dark little alley you've taken yourself into, you've birthed desires that no one else has birthed. You've sent invitations to yourself to familiarize yourself with. Do you want to have the ultimate desire right here, right now? No. But it is time. Familiarize yourself with a feeling that feels good when you're feeling it. But the character needs to be left home, in the sense, in the experienced world. When you're meditating, there is no experience of something familiar of that there is a completely new focus. What are you doing? You're focusing on a feeling that your current character has inspired you to. I really don't want to, like, I have this impulse to sort of go with it, but we have another few, what's it, today 16, another few days. So I just want to like really go slowly so you can just settle into this. Just settle, just to see it clearly in your mind that who you currently believe to be. And that's why meditation is so important, that you become aware that there are different vibrational frequencies and that we're aware of. There's alpha, beta, delta. I think mostly the character plays itself out in delta. That's like your wake stage that you believe, like, this is, delta is my playground stage. Theta is a frequency where you're not playing out in this 3D time-space reality. All right? The 3D time-space reality requires 3 dimensions. In theta, there is no 3D dimensions. There's infinite possibilities. And it is to the degree of the experience you've just had, the desire will be born. Not everyone has a desire to invent the wheel. Not everyone did. Not everyone had the same desire to create the airplane or become involved in it. Not everyone has the desire to go to Mars. Not everyone had the desire to create the electrical car. Like Elon Musk, he's determined to do incredible things. I'm currently reading listening to the audiobook that someone wrote about his autobiography. And the man is just focused, absolutely focused on this image that he has. Is he up to speed with himself? Well, that is to the degree. If everyone knew this information, it'll probably be a little bit more, step, dance. But that's besides the point, whether you know this or not. But when you're focused on becoming the person that can live out and experience your desires, it requires a bit of attention. What is attention? Focus. What is focus? Who is focusing? Awareness. Awareness wants to become aware of itself. It wants to become aware of more than before. And that's what creation is. That's what expansion is. You become aware of something more than you were before. You weren't aware of it before. Now you're aware of it. But now that you've become aware of it, how does it feel to be there? And allow the images to come out. Allow the new definitions to be heard, to become aware of, so then you can play out this new experience. New belief with new character. What does it mean? Do you need to linger on about who the first character was? No. When you know who yourself to be, really, focusing on the old character will just be an appreciation. I appreciate so much that I went through those experiences. You're always going to be speaking as I. I appreciate so much that I had those contrasting moments, because look at this. Look at my life now. I came to realize, if you read everyone's autobiography, everyone's always there. I then realized. They became aware of something that they weren't aware of before. They saw a new perspective, a new point of view. In fact, every character comes with a point of view. What is a point of view? A perspective. What is a perspective? A belief. What is a belief? Character. Who you believe to be. If no one has any questions, I'll be happy to end it here today, darlings. As a book, I love your videos and be here and see it and learn about it. How you express it, so brilliantly expressed, so easy, so simple. Yes, that is my desire. Simple and easy. There are so many teachers that can say it in so many different ways. This is what transpires through me. Simple and easy has always been my focus. What words, what metaphors, what examples? And that's my focus every day. And every day it sort of just unnaturally unfolds. Like there's this image. I trust now the images that come to me. I trust now the feeling that comes to me. And every time there's a feeling, I go there, I focus on it, I look at it. And this is my invitation for you. Go and look at yours. How would you express this? How would you define your experiences? And when an image comes, I notice that too. Who notices images? Because the character is not the noticer. The character defines and describes, right? You, who you really are, that cannot be seen or pointed to, is the one that is aware of the images, is aware of the descriptions, is aware of the feedback, indicator, emotion, feeling. And that's who you really are. Without the factor of awareness, none of this is even seen. You just being the character, unaware of being the character. What's the point of having experiences if you can't hear and you can't become aware of the invitation that comes back? You'll just keep playing out the experiencer of this character over and over and over and over again. And then they'll write books about you and a movie. You probably have inspired someone else. I mean, nothing is lost. Nothing is being wrong. Nothing is being played out wrongly. All I'd really like to say is that there is order in this disorder. I'm quite sure if someone comes to me and says, Raf, this is my life, and all these details, the first thing I do is just like, let's declutter all the words and let's just get to that's my first question with any client. What is the emotion that is currently creating lack in your life, that is creating pain in your life? And the answer will be one word. And then I ask, what is the emotion you've been desiring your whole existence? And there'll be another word. And that's the work we do together. All the stories and the diagnosis and the events and the circumstances and the people, what he did and she said and what they did, it literally boils down. Let's just see what we need to see, guys. Where you are and where you want to be. Where are you? Where are you? Where do you currently live? Vibrational platform, please. And that will come with I am. What comes after that? Then we'll know where you live. And the story will be like, if the address is I am unworthy, the story will be, and so did that to me, and then I got offered this job and then they didn't take me. And so the story will have a description of that address. So people get all lost in the stories and then they try and figure it out, who's right and who's wrong. It doesn't matter. You're living out that experience of that address. So easy, so simple, but I'm afraid to forget it. Who is forgetting it? Again, guys, if you believe to be the character is designed to forget. Meaning, the character is not meant to remember a different feeling. It can only play out the feeling. So this is a good one, Ingrid. I am afraid to forget it. You know all of it. I'm just reminding you, this is nothing new, guys. It will resonate somewhere. When you're playing out the character, and the character says, I am afraid to forget. I am afraid to forget. I am afraid to forget. What is it? The definition. Can you see it? I am afraid to forget. Who knows this? I am afraid to forget. Who's the I am afraid to forget? That is your address. I am currently living out an experience I am afraid to forget. Who knows? Who sees? Who's aware of I'm afraid to forget? I'm afraid to forget is like a name. I'm afraid to forget. Notice, identify, see that I'm afraid to forget is a belief and it's a character. If you recognize beliefs, it's easy. I am afraid to forget is a belief. It's not a person. Become aware. See it. I am afraid to forget. I'm afraid I will never be important. I'm afraid I will never make money. I'm afraid I will lose. Notice it. It's not a person. It's a thought. It's a belief. I am aware. I am afraid of forgetting. See it. Notice it. Write it down. So Ingrid, write one of that down. I'm afraid to forget. What is the opposite? What is the other side of the coin? I'm afraid to forget. I always remember who I am. How do you become familiar with who you are? Every single day. In the morning you meditate. You're one with who you are. Aware. I am. Then you play out, I am afraid to forget. And you become aware of I am afraid to forget. You become aware of the character belief you're playing out. You become aware of everything that you say after the word I am. I'm not good enough. When I have a script, I can mark it with this or that sentence with big letters on other piece of paper. Notice your beliefs, people. Notice what you're playing out. Notice what is currently being played out. And only through noticing. Noticing is not a doing. Noticing is not thinking. Noticing is not believing. Noticing is awareness. Notice. No, I will not forget. Thank you so much. Thank you. Right, so no questions. So tip number 2, take note of your desires. And by the end of the week, you will have a clear map. You will have a clear how-to. And then it's up to you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye, darlings. Have a fabulous day.